Riley Adams was hailed as a genius of digital marketing until her perfectly curated empire of fake influencers, AI-generated faces, and disappearing brands unraveled into one of the most shocking scams the internet has ever seen. Riley Adams was just another face in the crowd of content creators until a skincare brand reposted her homemade product review. The video, shot in her bedroom with soft lighting and a calming voiceover, looked so natural that viewers believed every word. Overnight, her follower count jumped, and within weeks, brands started knocking. She wasn't selling herself as an influencer, she was offering what everyone wanted: authentic user-generated content, or UGC. Companies loved that they could license her videos without the baggage of celebrity endorsement deals. Her work looked real, felt personal, and most importantly, sold products. Riley's agency, RA Creative, was born out of this demand. It started with just her and a camera, but within 6 months, she had a full roster of supposed creators churning out content under her management. Her website boasted dozens of testimonials, each client raving about increased engagement and boosted sales. The work looked legitimate. She published case studies showing before and after metrics, and those numbers made her irresistible to new startups hoping to scale fast. Riley didn't just promise visibility, she delivered a lifestyle. Her videos had a certain shine, polished but not glossy, casual but clean. Her actors looked like everyday people. Her aesthetic matched whatever brand she was selling. That's what made her a star. As more creators joined her platform, Riley began offering packages: bronze, silver, and gold campaigns, all priced accordingly. New businesses could pay a flat fee and receive a full suite of promotional materials. They were told their products would be reviewed by a hand-picked group of micro-creators, each with genuine followings and real customer reach. The system worked well, too well. RA Creative was soon considered a disruptor in the UGC space. Industry blogs praised its scalable model, and Riley was invited to marketing panels, webinars, and even podcast interviews where she spoke about the power of real people selling real products. But beneath the polished surface, questions started forming. Some of the faces in her campaigns seemed familiar, appearing across multiple unrelated brands. A fitness coach reviewed beauty serums. A skincare model promoted protein shakes. Patterns emerged, but they were easy to miss. To the public, Riley was an innovator. To startups, she was a ticket to visibility. But in the shadows, something wasn't right. Her rise was meteoric to perfect to be real, and no one yet knew how far the illusion went. At first, the disappearances of Riley's client brands went unnoticed. The world of startups is volatile. Companies launch and fail all the time. But a pattern began to take shape that even the most casual observer could start to recognize. One by one, businesses that had once proudly featured Riley's UGC content started vanishing from the internet. A niche tea brand, a cruelty-free makeup line, a tech gadget for sleep tracking all had a brief burst of visibility followed by complete silence. Their websites disappeared. Social media profiles were wiped clean. Customer service lines rang endlessly with no answer. Even their founders stopped responding to emails. One of these vanishing brands caught the attention of Marcus Lane, a data analyst who had been working with a crowdfunding platform. He noticed that several recently funded companies had all used Riley's agency for their promotional push. Marcus began digging deeper, tracing digital footprints, cross-referencing names, and compiling a spreadsheet of startups linked to RA Creative. What he found was alarming. Out of 27 companies that launched marketing campaigns through Riley's agency, 17 had gone dark within 3 months of their content releases. At first, Marcus thought it might be a coincidence. Startups, especially those in the wellness and lifestyle space, are inherently risky. But the consistency was too sharp to ignore. Most of the vanished companies had never posted any other content besides the UGC produced by Riley's agency. Their social growth halted almost immediately after their launch. Reviews on their products, if any existed, were vague and repetitive. There were no customer complaints because there were almost no customers. He brought his concerns to a marketing forum online, posting under a pseudonym. Responses were mixed. Some users dismissed it as paranoia, but a few chimed in with their own unsettling stories. One founder revealed she paid $15,000 for a full gold tier campaign with Riley's agency, only to see zero return on investment. Another described how they couldn't trace any of the supposed creators who had posted their promotional videos, almost as if the people in the videos didn't exist. The trail was growing cold quickly. But there was something about the way these businesses disappeared without a trace that felt deliberate. No bankruptcy filings, no farewell posts, just a clean digital erasure. It no longer looked like failed marketing. It looked like something much darker. Eric Carson had spent years covering tech scams and online fraud, but something about Riley's operation piqued his interest in a different way. It wasn't the usual tale of phishing emails or counterfeit products. This was subtler deception masked as innovation. After reading Marcus Lane's forum post, Eric started his own investigation, beginning with a deep dive into RA Creative's video catalog. The agency's YouTube and Vimeo channels were gone, but the content had already been shared across dozens of brand accounts. Eric downloaded as many videos as he could find and began pulling their metadata. That's when the patterns started to emerge. Nearly all the videos had been exported using the same editing software, and the timestamps fell within narrow windows, often multiple videos supposedly by different creators rendered within minutes of each other. He traced the upload IPs using backend tools and saw a match. Most content had been uploaded from a single metro location. This wasn't a distributed team of influencers. It was centralized. Too centralized. The different voices, backgrounds, and personalities on screen were all produced by one hub. Eric looked closely at the so-called creators. Their social media accounts looked authentic at first glance, curated feeds, bio links, even occasional personal posts. But a reverse image search on their profile pictures told a different story. Many were AI-generated faces or stock images, recycled and slightly edited. The same smiling woman reviewing a meal kit showed up in a foreign banking ad 3 years earlier. The same man endorsing vitamins was found in an unrelated template website in Eastern Europe. The creators weren't real. Their accounts were ghost shells carefully managed to mimic human activity. Likes, comments, even responses were programmed or bought. The brands that bought into Riley's services never knew. They believed they were getting exposure through real people, but it was all smoke and mirrors. Eric reached out to a few of these businesses. Many didn't respond. Some had already shut down, and others claimed they had no idea they'd been scammed. One anonymous source admitted they were told not to worry about verifying creators, that RA Creative handled everything. Trust had been blind. The deeper Eric went, the more the web unraveled. Riley had turned UGC into a synthetic engine, producing artificial buzz that looked organic. And the clients who couldn't recover from the deception were left bankrupt, while she profited from selling manufactured authenticity. Dana Whitmore had joined RA Creative as a part-time intern, excited to gain experience in digital marketing. A film student with editing skills and a growing portfolio, she thought working under Riley Adams would boost her career. At first, her tasks seemed typical: cutting clips, adjusting sound levels, color grading. But as weeks passed, Dana began to notice inconsistencies in the workflow. Videos meant to be from different creators were being edited from the same raw footage folders. In some cases, she was asked to slightly alter the same video for multiple brand campaigns, swapping logos and tweaking voiceovers to give the illusion of variety. What truly alarmed her was the list of instructions Riley sent for content deployment. Dana was told to use virtual private networks, multiple email aliases, and preset scripts when scheduling posts across supposedly unique social media accounts. She was even given access to a bank of pre-written comments and replies, which she was expected to post as part of engagement boosts. When she raised questions, Riley dismissed them as standard automation practices that everyone in the industry uses. But Dana couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Her concerns turned to fear when a folder labeled Deep Models showed up in her shared drive. It contained pre-rendered faces and voice tracks, clearly AI-generated assets meant to create new creators out of thin air. She realized the agency was manufacturing people to represent brands. Real clients were paying for exposure through entirely fake personas. Dana quietly began collecting files, saving screenshots, export logs, and duplicate video timelines. She knew what she was seeing wasn't just unethical, it was fraud. The moment she decided to speak out was after she overheard a tense Zoom call where Riley threatened legal action against a brand owner who had asked for proof of engagement statistics. Riley mentioned the client had violated their contract and hinted at using a legal team to handle the situation. Dana realized then that Riley was fully aware of what she was doing and was prepared to silence anyone who pushed too hard. Dana reached out anonymously to Eric Carson, the journalist already tracking the case. They arranged a secure meeting, and Dana handed over her evidence, a goldmine of internal documents and technical data. With her help, Eric finally had the missing link. What began as a suspicious marketing strategy was now verifiable fraud, supported by irrefutable proof. The walls around Riley's empire were beginning to collapse. The media explosion came fast. Within a week of Eric publishing his expose, headlines flooded every major digital marketing forum and business news site. The UGC illusion, fake faces, real money, and how one woman fooled an industry were just a few of the headlines dominating the space. Riley Adams went from being a celebrated marketing pioneer to a central figure in one of the most elaborate digital fraud cases ever uncovered. The documents Dana provided, along with Eric's detailed research, painted a clear picture of systematic deception. What seemed like authentic user content was the result of a tightly controlled operation using AI, fake accounts, and fraudulent engagement metrics to sell influence that never existed. As brands realized they'd been duped, legal teams mobilized. Lawsuits began pouring in from former clients, many of whom had spent their entire launch budgets on RA Creative's fake campaigns. Some had no revenue left to even continue operations. Investigations were launched by federal agencies into potential wire fraud, false advertising, and identity misuse. Influencer marketing watchdogs called for sweeping changes in how authenticity is verified online. Riley's company was dissolved in days, its website replaced by a blank landing page. Her personal accounts vanished overnight, and no one could confirm her location. Even her closest colleagues claimed they hadn't spoken to her since the article dropped. Despite efforts to trace her, Riley remained elusive. Her last known digital trace was a login to a cloud server registered in an Eastern European country with lenient data laws. Authorities speculated she had planned her exit well in advance, quietly liquidating assets and moving operations offshore before the story broke. Some insiders claim she'd built a network of shell companies under different names, continuing to run similar operations in smaller markets. No formal charges had yet been served because no one could find her. Months later, a video surfaced on a niche video sharing site. It was brief, just 15 seconds. A product spun slowly under moody lighting, set to ambient music. The visuals and pacing were unmistakably Riley's style. There was no voiceover, no branding, only a caption that read, "Truth is a brand too." The IP was untraceable, the account quickly deleted. But it was enough to reignite speculation. Though Riley Adams had vanished, her impact lingered. The marketing world changed permanently. New regulations were introduced, AI detection tools became standard, and brands no longer trusted glossy UGC without verified metrics. Riley became a myth, a cautionary tale in digital marketing classrooms, a ghost in the algorithm who proved that in the age of content, even lies can go viral.